A year ago, Angie was training to be a hairdresser. Now she's homeless in London. Darren was leaving care. Just 5 weeks later, he's in trouble. Jenny was alone in a high-rise. She goes to America to find the mother who abandoned her. Simon was idling. Now he's been sent by the magistrates to feed the goats. Mandy wanted to keep her baby. A year later, she's alone and unhappy. A year ago, World in Action started to film 7 young people. They were abandoned by their families. Then, at just 16 or 17 years old, they're turned out of their children's homes. They are on their own and vulnerable. The Children Act requires local authorities to help care leavers, but the evidence is they're failing. World in Action randomly selected 7 of these young people and followed their progress for a year to find out what happened to them. In Solihull, social services have given Paul a flat in a high-rise block and a grant of £500 to furnish it. He's been here 2 weeks and it's a mess.
This is the bedroom. The main problems in here is the window was blown through by gale force winds the other day, and the council haven't yet boarded it up properly as they should have boarded it up. Also, there is wood rot underneath the window frame.
Where are you sleeping?
At the moment I'm sleeping in the living room because it's too cold to sleep in here with the heating not working either.
Paul wants to be a businessman. He was put into care when he was 8. Since then he's lived in 15 different children's homes and hostels. This is the first time he's had a place of his own. So even amongst the squalor, it's special for him.
It's brilliant. It's a lot better than living with 12, 13 people in a hostel. A lot of them that you don't know. Whereas when you're here, you can do your own thing and you can have who you want up in your flat. You can go to bed what time you like and whatever. It's good.
What would you hope to be doing in a year's time?
In a year's time, I think I'll still be in the flat. It'll be finished by then, hopefully. The flat will be looking a lot nicer. But in a couple of years after, I think I'd like to be moving into my own house and starting to settle down a bit more in my own house. Because if the business idea takes off, I should be in a position to be able to do that. It will be a hard slog, but I think I will get there.
Genevieve has just left care at 16, and she too is on her own in a high-rise flat.
There was absolutely no furniture or carpet or anything like that, and I had to start from scratch. I didn't have any furniture given to me by relatives or anything, so everything I had to be bought out of the grant, which I was given. It's quite upsetting really, isn't it? To think that the people who need the help, people in care, don't actually get it when they need it. If you've got a mum and dad, you're all right, aren't you?
Genevieve's parents separated when she was 8. Then, when she was 13, her mother went to America, leaving her children behind on their own. Genevieve was put into foster care. Against all the odds, she's now struggling to study for A-levels.
It's horrible in some of the daytime when all my friends are at college and that, and I've got no college that day, and I'm here on my own. It's really depressing. I'm tearing my hair out.
In the absence of someone to turn to, Genevieve has been wrongly advised that if she claims benefits, she can only study part-time.
So I'm cramming 2 A-levels into a year at the moment, 4 hours a week, which is disgusting, considering all my friends can go to full-time college and get the best. I mean, I'm not expecting to have a comfortable life or anything like that, being as I've just left care and everything. I know you've got to struggle and everything. There's a lot of people who are worse off, but I should at least feel secure, not have to feel that I don't know whether I'm going to get by the 1 week. No.
Every year, 8,000 young people in Britain leave care and try to face the world on their own. Tina is only allowed to stay a few more weeks in this mother and baby unit in Birmingham. After a failed adoption and running away from a children's home, Tina got pregnant with Katie when she was still in care.
I was upset at first, but then again, I felt like she was mine. like, my real family. The only thing I knew was my blood, do you know what I mean? I wanted her. But I went through a stage of not wanting her. I had the date set for the termination. The day I was supposed to have the termination, I ran away to London. So I ended up having her. And I love her.
What would you like to be doing in a year's time?
I'd hope to be living in London, Katie in a nursery school, maybe with a part-time job, and living happily ever after with my dad.
In Halifax, it's Mandy's last week in the Closely Children's Home. It's the end of 3 meals a day and an institutional life that she's known on and off for most of her 16 years.
Winnie? Yeah, make us a room.
Could be lonely. No one to talk to. Cause I miss all my friends here at Closely and staff. Because they make me laugh. I've no one to talk to at all.
Mandy has a daughter who she managed to look after for 4 months. Then she became homeless. There was nowhere that could accommodate mother and baby. So Kerry Lee was taken into care and Mandy went back into a children's home.
I want to spend one night with my baby. Because they've got their babies at home. But where's mine? Mine's in care. And they say they know what I'm going through. They don't. Because my eye's broken at the moment because I want my baby girl back. I'll do anything to get her back.
So how long will it be before you have her back?
I've no idea. It just depends what housing do. Get me a flat or something. And I can have her back then for good. But this time I won't let her go when I get back.
And do you think you'll cope with her on your own?
It's going to be hard. I'll admit it. I don't think I will be able to, but I'm going to try. I'm not saying I will be able to cope, and I know fine well I won't be able to cope. But I'm going to have a go.
So what are your hopes for Kerry Lee?
I don't want her nowhere near care. I want her to have a right nice life, go to school and do her exams and get a good job. Not to end up what I've done, going to court for fighting and getting done with police. I want a total different life to her. Because I never got any loving, you see, and I'm going to give her the most loving I've ever had in my life, what I've got. So I'm going to give her the most loving thing I could ever do.
25% of girls leaving care already have a baby of their own. Tina's got to move out of the mother and baby unit.
Bye.
She's off to London.
How does Casey feel about it?
No, she's wondering what's going on. She doesn't know. She knows I'm happy, so she's been all right. She hasn't been in trouble. Here we go. Thinking, what are we waiting for? Come on, let's go.
Tina hopes that Katie's father will find them accommodation in London. He's done nothing yet. So for now, she's homeless, with just a place on a friend's floor for a couple of weeks.
You know, what's it feel like to be here? Great relief. I'm here at last. Got them bags up the stairs.
Mandy's moved out of the children's home. She's not sure whether she'll be able to cope with her baby in a bedsit. Today, the foster mother is bringing her daughter Kerry Lee to stay for a trial period.
Hello. You come in. You come in. Oh, come on. Huh? Come on, some more. Hello, darling.
All right.
Sup? I don't know like that. Hello. Come on.
You've got to be careful because we can't mess her about too much, can we?
No.
Okay, because you'll have to decide, aren't you?
I don't really know what I want.
No, but you'll have to make a decision, aren't you, soon?
No, I want her, yeah.
Okay.
Go here.
With no adults around to help, Mandy and her baby are struggling in the bedsit.
At the moment, they're giving me a 6 weeks trial, so I'm going to see how that goes first before I really decide. It's not going well at the moment, and it isn't. I don't know. I'm cracking up in here because I want to get out. Because it's too small.
Do you feel bad about it?
I do. I feel tight. It's my own daughter, man, and I'm just not prepared to have her. And I should do. But I can't help the way I feel. If I've had my freedom for 7 months, then all of a sudden she's starting to come back and stay, it just changes you totally. I don't want to grow to hate her, that's one thing I don't want to do. And if I can't do something I really want to do, I'll grow to hate her because she'll be the fault I can't do it. I'm thinking them 6 weeks, what I really want, my freedom on my door. I feel rotten saying it. But I love her, I love my freedom. I can't have both.
It's 8 in the morning in Hertfordshire.
Come on, guys. Time to get up.
16-year-old Darren was turned out of his children's home 2 weeks ago.
You okay?
Now he's got to move on again. His emergency placement in this homeless hostel runs out today.
Why'd you have to leave?
Because this bed's already booked for someone. Because when I come here, it's an emergency bed till the 12th today, but it's already booked for someone, so I've got to move on again.
Adopted as a baby, Darren has been in 2 children's homes, 2 foster placements, and expelled from 2 schools. He has some limited contact with his adopted family.
Everybody knows I've been in care and like, I've got in trouble, but then people see the other side of me and like, see me with my family, happy and that. And like, when I look at some photos and it's the four of us together, it's like nice to see it. Gets me a bit choked up sometimes. It's all right.
Where do you think you'll be in about a year's time?
Probably locked up somewhere.
This homeless hostel is one of the few places that can give young people coming out of care temporary accommodation. Simon has been thrown out by his family in his children's home.
So who do you turn to if you have a problem?
I don't.
How long have you got left here now for the project?
I don't know. Don't know how long.
And where are you hoping to go next?
Either in lodgings. Yeah, into lodgings.
He's had several attempts at youth training and dropped out. There is now pressure on the hostel for his place.
Get young people turn up on the doorstep, that's the worst. If they're physically on the premises. People turn up with tears in their eyes, desperate for accommodation, and we can't do a single thing. This is the last time, Simon.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, this is the 4th time. We've really got to have a bash at it. I mean, it's not like you don't know what's going to happen if you don't.
Yeah.
I still think you could mend things with your family. At the moment, you're in a situation of having to prove yourself with us and the careers office. I mean, they've really been quite good to you.
So what are you planning to do over the next year or so?
Get a job. Settle down and all that, just stay out of trouble. And get loads of money.
Angie has a slightly longer placement in the same hostel. For her, it's a few months of stability.
It's like a family. And some of us ain't got families, so you just get on with it. You treat them as your family instead of anything else.
Angie should be able to stay here while she settles into her first job. She's just 16.
Bye. I'm getting older, I'm getting more responsible. And I've got to keep doing it. I can't muck it up now, or else I'd be letting too much go, really. I've got a lot of things on the line.
A hairdresser has taken her on as an apprentice on a trial basis.
I think she'll be okay. She wants to do it really badly, and that's the main thing, isn't it?
Where would you ideally like to be in a year's time?
In my own house or flat, where everything's mine and I don't owe nobody nothing. And I can invite people round and I can be proud of what I've got.
A year ago, the Children Act came into force. It requires local authorities to help. But a World in Action survey found that 73% of authorities do not have enough money to properly support young people leaving care. Night comes. There's nowhere for Darren to stay. His social worker manages to persuade the YMCA to take him for 3 nights. But at 16, he's really too young.
What would you like to happen now?
Get something better sorted out for Friday. You know what I mean?
What sort of thing?
Just something more homely, really.
Friday comes. Darren sleeps on this bench.
It's just like freezing cold, didn't know where I was going to go next, didn't know what to do. And then the social worker didn't have no accommodation, so I was sitting down social services all day Friday, and then at about 4 o'clock Friday, he come out and said to me that there wouldn't be no accommodation, I'd have to fend for myself.
In desperation, 3 days later, social services put Darren up in a hotel.
It's costing them social services too much money, and like it's not really reality, if you know what I mean, someone living in a hotel. So they've just put me up there for a few days instead of me being homeless.
In the next 2 weeks, Darren stays in a homeless hostel, on a friend's floor, and in another hotel paid by social services. Just 5 weeks since he left the children's home, he's stayed in 7 different places. The system has failed him. Now he's on the streets, living on chips.
Feeling a bit down. Just want to get things going, really. A bit confused.
Have you changed much in the last few weeks since you left the children's home?
Yeah, I've changed, but like I ain't changed for the better sort of things. Like things got worse. Been muddled up.
Darren has heard from other homeless people of a derelict house to squat in Welland Garden City. Although there are neighbours on either side, he manages to creep in and find a place to stay for the night.
Have you been getting into much trouble?
Yeah, quite a bit. Drugs gone up a bit, quite a bit. That's why I want to get myself a new place and that.
So why have the drugs and the crime gone up, do you think?
Probably because there is nothing to do. I don't know, I feel lost at the moment. So lost.
A World in Action survey of all social services departments found that 84% say they do not have enough accommodation for young people leaving care.
Roll up. 5, 6, 7, and 1.
Genevieve is now studying music, dance and drama at a city technology college. She discovered she'd been given the wrong advice on her benefit. She is entitled to take this full-time course after all.
Bring down, 2, 3, and rise.
Well, I was a bit angry because I wasted from September to January doing a course that I wasn't interested in just because it was part-time. And if I'd known I could come here, I'd have come here from the start. But my social worker had misinformed me, and she did put me straight in the end, but it could have been too late. It's brought me out of myself a lot more. I'm not depressed anymore because I was getting very depressed on the other course. And you know, it was just motivated me a lot. I'm happier.
Angie is on her own. The time came for her to leave the hostel that was supporting her. Once in her own bedsit with nobody to wake her up in the morning, she started sleeping in. Then the hairdresser where she was training gave her the sack.
I lost my job. Because I had dermatitis, I lost my job. And now I haven't got one.
So what happened? How long did it last for?
6 months. And then they gave me 2 weeks off at the doctor's. They signed me off properly and they gave me the sack.
Things started to go downhill, her appearance and things like that. And she got dermatitis badly on her hands and she had a week off, which was fair enough. And then I think it was about 3 or 4 weeks later, she had it on her arms and she was signed off work for a fortnight. and she wasn't reliable enough, and if she was going to keep getting dermatitis and being off work for 2-3 weeks at a time, that we couldn't really cope with that.
For about the first 3 or 4 weeks that I lived here, after I lost my job, it was terrible. I'd sit in my room watching the telly and playing cards, listening to music all day, every day, on my own. The only time I went out of my room was either to go and have a bath or to go downstairs and have a cup of tea. That was it.
Solihull Social Services have had to take one of their young people back into care. Paul has abandoned his flat and is under round-the-clock supervision for his own safety. The panic has occurred because he's given evidence to the police that he's been sexually abused. After months of isolation, his allegations have triggered the system. He's going to the housing department to see if they can rehouse him.
Now, you phoned up this morning to say you got something of a problem and you were quite anxious to move. Do you want to tell me a little bit about what the problem is, so I know if we can help you?
Yeah, basically the problem is I'm involved in a sex abuse case.
This person that you've been involved with, they're aware of you living in the Chelmsley Wood area. That's presumably why you need to move.
They know exactly where the flat is and what number it is.
And where you normally would go on Chelmsley Wood is what I'm getting at, yeah. Really a move off the area is what you'd really prefer?
Yeah, that's more appropriate.
In view of what you've said, we will agree to move you. The thing is, obviously, with restrictions on availability of accommodation, that's not going to be something that we can really sort of come to quickly, although we will try and endeavour to do it, possibly within the month.
What have you been going through emotionally?
Well, I'm not very happy with the situation, and it's going to mean a lot of moving around, and it's disturbed me from the way I was living quite a lot. It's put me back quite a long time because I was just getting settled again in my flat.
Do you feel frightened at all?
Yes.
Social services have accepted the need to protect Paul, but shockingly, they don't have any suitable emergency accommodation. A foster family has agreed to take him for one night only. Mandy's trial period of caring for her daughter in the bedsit failed, but she's been given one last chance by the social worker.
Nervous and scared. But today, now it's come to the day, I'm going to get her. I don't want her. And I want her bad.
You come in. Eh?
Mandy is reunited with Kerry Lee.
Hello, darling.
Mandy has gone to live with her father and stepmother, who tried to look after her when she was 12 but failed. Now they have 4 children of their own, but they're prepared to take on Mandy and the baby on a trial basis.
Eh? Oh, we're getting big now, eh?
I'm offering Amanda again a home now that she's got a baby with her, and I just hope that this time Amanda's going to settle down.
Why are you doing this?
Because we care. Amanda might think we don't, but we do.
want Amanda. That's what I needed, you see. Somebody to, like, look after me plus my daughter. I don't need looking after now, like, but all I wanted was help, but nobody was around. But now I've got my mum and dad to stand by me, so I think it's going to work out this time.
And what has your social worker said to you about it?
If it didn't work out this time, that's it. If I give her up, if I took her back, say I had her away for a week, and then, like, if it didn't work out and I couldn't cope with that, Vicky'd come and pick her up and take her, and she'd just go to a set of foster parents, get her adopted, and I'd never see her again. So this time I'm really going to make it work. For my daughter's sake and for mine. Because God knows what I'd do if they did take her away. I'd never see her again because I'd just crack up.
Next week, will Mandy manage to keep Kerry Lee? Genevieve goes to America to find the mother who abandoned her. What's Simon doing feeding the pigs? Can Tina and little Katie survive alone in London? Can Darren find a place to live? Angie goes to London and loses everything. Follow what happens in next week's World in Action.